The natural and cultural historical landmarks of Old Nesebar and Kirklareli attract tourists from all over the world. Past and present meet in these towns, where thousands of years of human culture have left priceless architectural monuments. Apart from their history and culture, Nesebar and Kirklareli feature unique natural environments which provide a real feast for the senses and make you want to return again and again. Old Nesebar is a UNESCO town, a world cultural treasure which attracts tourists from all over the world. Here, there are preserved remains of the fortress walls from ancient and medieval times, old Byzantine and Bulgarian churches, and houses from the 18th and 19th century Bulgarian revival. A look backwards over time shows that up to the middle of the last century, Nesebar was extremely poor and provincial town. Old and neglected structures, dilapidated buildings hid the beauty of the historical monuments. One of the most beautiful churches in Nesebar, Christ the Pantocrator, just like the old cathedral, was surrounded by old residential buildings. The church of St. John Ali Tagetos was almost completely hidden by a Turkish bath and trading stalls. In 1956, a decree was issued by the Council of Ministers declaring the old city as an architectural, archaeological reserve and placing it under a special regime for development and progress. At the beginning of 1960, serious large-scale archaeological excavations began, along with restoration work and other operations designed to protect and conserve the ancient sites. Investigations are continuing today because the ancient city has not revealed all the secrets from its thousands of years' history. In 1983, the old town of Nesebar was included on the list of World Cultural Heritage. Today, a rock with an inscription celebrating the fact has turned into a favourite spot for thousands of tourists wanting to keep a memory of a meeting in this world city. Tourists inevitably stop in front of the three-dimensional relief map which is located in the immediate vicinity of the ancient gate to the city. On it, the 16 most important tourist objects are marked, depicted in sculpted miniature, with the irreplaceable symbol of Old Nesebar, the windmill on the causeway. Nesebar's greatest historical treasures are its numerous churches. They call the town an encyclopedia of Christian church building because of its many churches. There is evidence that there were more than 40 churches on the island. 15 are preserved. Throughout almost all its history, Nesebar has been the residence of the Metropolitan Bishop. Two of Nesebar's churches, St. Sophia and St. Stephen, are more famous as the old and new cathedrals. The Nesebar municipality spares no efforts in the restoration and conservation of churches. Nesebar will become ever more attractive to tourists through the reconstruction of the streets in the old town. The municipality's idea is to link all cultural sites in order to bring together the elements of cultural historical heritage into one common picture. With this aim in mind, the old streets and pavements were replaced with more suitable surfacing used in the creation of the cultural tourist itinerary, the spiritual path. In this way, they have brought the whole architectural ensemble to life, including the old Nesebar Museum and the St. John the Baptist and St. Paraskeva churches. In order to stimulate the cultural atmosphere, space has been secured for local street artists and paintings. Nесебър draws tourists from all over the world, not only with its architecture, culture and history preserved over the centuries, but also with its natural attractions. Next to the ancient city lies Bulgaria's largest resort, Sunny Beach. The climate here is close to that of the famous Mediterranean resorts. The beach area is over 10 kilometers long. The sand is fine, with beautiful natural dunes. For lovers of ecotourism, there is Irakli Beach, as yet untouched by civilization. The protected territory stretches to Emine Point, where the remains of Emona Fortress and a medieval monastery can be found. On this point there is an active lighthouse. The unique location offers a wonderful opportunity for jeep safaris and horse riding. Villages around Nесебър entrance you with the beauty of Bulgarian embroidery. The mystery of dancing over burning coals and the uneven rhythms of the Bulgarian choro or line dance. Kirklareli is a town in the Republic of Turkey, situated on the western spur of the Stranja Mountains. It was founded in the years of the Ottoman Empire by Bulgarians migrating from Stranja and Sredna Gora. The town fell within Ottoman borders in 1363 at the time of Sultan Murad's rule. Its Byzantine name is 40 Churches, which was translated into Turkish as Kirklareli. This name was retained until 1924, when the town was renamed as Kirklareli, the place of 40. Now they call Kirklareli the town of happy folk, and they meet tourists here with a smile. The region of Kirklareli has been inhabited from ancient times. The land shows Thracian and Roman remains, and monuments of Ottoman architecture return us towards the town's more recent history. According to archaeological excavations in the region, the first signs of life in these parts date from 6500 BC. The evidence for this is provided by the rich exhibition in the Kirklareli Museum. In the galleries, you can see over 600 ethnographic and nearly 1,500 archaeological exhibits, as well as over 2,000 coins from different periods. Numerous tourists are attracted by the open-air museum of Ashar Pinar, a prehistoric village from the late Neolithic period. Here you can see plaster models of dwellings in one of the first settlements in Europe. At the time of the archaeological excavation, valuable artifacts were uncovered: cult ceramic vessels and ancient articles used for hunting, agriculture and fishing. The finds discovered in the Așa-Pinar locality can be viewed in the Kirklareli Museum. Recently in Kirklareli, a cultural centre opened its doors. It represents the main ethnic groups that inhabited the town at the end of the 19th and the beginning of the 20th centuries. In the museum, there are displays from Turkey, Bulgaria, Greece, and Montenegro. A recommended place for tourists to stroll is the Yayla Quarter, with its picturesque narrow streets. Houses surrounded by high stone walls and huge iron-studded wooden gates are reminiscent of the architecture in Koprivnica and Nесебър. The quarter has been designated as a cultural and historical reserve. Among the cultural monuments from the Ottoman period are 5 mosques. The most interesting for tourists is the Huzar Bey complex. The Huzar Bey Mosque is found at the centre of the town. It's considered the oldest mosque in Europe and is open for worship. In the complex there is also a bazaar which is made up of 12 shops. The stalls are part of the Ottoman period heritage and they've retained this atmosphere to the present day. One of the emblematic buildings in the town is the railway station, built in 1873 by an Austrian building firm. It has historic and architectural value, and its preservation and conservation can turn it into a place for tourists to visit. Every day, tourists visit the House Museum of the founder of the Republic of Turkey, Mustafa Kemal Atatürk. Daily, more than 2,500 visitors pass through this place, full of memories and pictures of the great Turkish politician. The house is an exact copy of the birthplace of Atatürk in Thessaloniki. Locals say that this house museum is a bridge between yesterday and tomorrow, part of the social and cultural life of Kirklareli. In the museum, you can see the wax figures of Atatürk's mother and father. The office of the great Turkish politician excites the greatest interest. There's no tourist who doesn't have their photo taken sitting along Mustafa Kemal on the huge leather sofa. Kirklareli is working to improve its tourist attractions. Next to be renovated is the Waldorf Park with the construction of new walkways. Apart from its history and culture, Kirklareli attracts tourists with its natural surroundings. The cool of the mountain and the endless beaches provide opportunities for the development of environmental tourism. Midye Kiriköy is on the Black Sea coast and charms tourists with its small, beautiful beach. Thick oak woods provide shade and fresh air. From the north and south, the little town is bordered by the Kazan and Pabuch rivers, which flow into the sea. The place is extremely suited to environmental tourism. It offers romantic boat trips and fishing. The Dupniza cave has become a tourist attraction, the longest cave in the Republic of Turkey. Artistic lighting helps visitors to enjoy the subterranean beauty and to view the cave features sculpted by nature. The village of Arman is suitable for ecotourism, where you can try the medicinal Mursala tea. In Beypınar as well, you can meet the local blacksmith who makes bells tuned to the musical scale, and you'll hear their melody. The unusual skill in turning bells into musical instruments is part of the region's cultural heritage. Kirklareli has great tourism potential with its cultural historical heritage, its unique landscapes and beautiful seaside. Nesebar and Kirklareli await you. Everyone who has chosen these towns as their tourist destinations will find something for themselves from the town's ancient history to its present-day charm.